Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to our Australian market update from People to People. My name is Catherine Kennedy. I'm the Managing Director here in New South Wales. Very happy to have you joining us today, whatever platform you're watching on. Thank you for your interest, and please, if you've got any questions as we go throughout the conversation today, please feel free to jump in and ask them, and I'll get to them as quickly as I can. But the theme today, or really what we're focused on, is around mental health and the way that that's evolving in the workplace. It was Are You OK Day yesterday here in Australia, so we've got a show that's focused on a lot of that sort of content today. So, and of course, always some jobs for us to talk to you about across Australia and also across the different locations and different countries that we work in. So the plan of attack really is I will share some statistics with you. So our stat of the week is often around the jobs market and the employment market, but we're actually going to talk about some statistics that have been released around particularly the impact that young Australians are having around mental health. So that's what we'll start with today. We've got jobs across Australia, New Zealand and the UK, some that need to be filled as early as Monday. So I'll make sure I share those with you. We are joined by our colleague, or my colleague, Shavneel from our Brisbane office, recently moved to our Brisbane office after being with us in New Zealand. We're going to have a chat to Shavneel around mental health in the workplace and how we approach it, if it's still a taboo subject. And then, as always, we have our social media poll to bring you the results from last week and ask for your questions, ask for your input, I should say, on this week's question. So that's the plan of attack. Let's get into it with our stat of the week. So as I said, it's not so much an employment statistic this week, rather just a general statistic that impacts. And when I read out some of these numbers, we'll see it literally does impact everybody, and that is the prevalence and the impact of mental health and mental health disorders within Australia, particularly amongst young people. So Are You OK Day being yesterday is one of the things that's, I guess, shone a light on this topic. So the ABS released their national study of mental health and wellbeing of Australians over the last 12-month period. And here's a couple of key findings for you. So nearly 43%, so 42.9% of Australians aged 16 to 85, so that's the sample range they've looked at, have experienced some kind of mental health challenge or disorder at some point in their lives. So almost half of us have personally had that experience. 22% have had something like that in the last 12 months, and anxiety disorders are the most common. There's 17% of the results that have been recognised in the last 12 months is around anxiety. Younger people, and this is very much something that's getting a lot of media attention, and well, it should at the moment, younger people have experienced the highest rate of mental health disorders in the last 12 months that has ever been experienced, and that's at 38.8%. So there's a lot of commentary around at the moment around changes potentially to social media access, and there's a whole host of contributing factors, but nearly 40% of our young people, so between 16 and 24, are facing some significant mental health challenges, and that is really quite astounding. Females are overrepresented, I suppose, so they report higher rates of anxiety than men do. Whether that is actually what happens or if it's just a higher level of reporting, there could be a discussion around that. And some of the key factors that there seems to be a relation to around increased risk is around social factors. So things like unemployment, being in a sole parent family, maybe there's a genetic history as well, but certainly some of the socioeconomic conditions that you live and work within. So This is something that impacts every single person in our society. It might be you personally. If it's not you personally, it will definitely be somebody who you know. So we wanted just to make sure that we gave some appropriate time to this really important topic today. We will share some links that has some information around those particular statistics, but also access to some of the services that you can reach out to if you or someone that you know needs help. So that's the statistics I wanted to share with you today. We'll have a bit of a change of gear and change of pace now, and we'll talk through some of the hot jobs for Australia in a moment. Okay, so we've got a couple of jobs that I can talk to you about within Australia. So this is firstly the marketing and PR manager role in Queensland. So this is being led by Shavneel, who's going to jump on with us in a moment. And it really is around leading and managing the marketing, PR and communications portfolios for this particular business. You'll need to have tertiary qualifications in marketing, and we're looking at an hourly rate, sort of around that $60 an hour. So if you're interested in that, reach out to Shavneel or the team in Brisbane. The next role in Australia that we're really keen to fill quickly is a legal role within Sydney. So it's a legal personal assistant. It's a permanent position, working in one of the law firms in the Sydney CBD. So Daniel in our Sydney team is the best contact for you there. I think there's some flexibility around the area of law that you may have had your experience in, but you will be providing support to a partner. The salary is $90,000 to $110,000, so you need to have experience that is at that level and that partner level as well. So that's in Australia. But if you are potentially wanting to go and do a working holiday or work overseas, or you know people who would like to work abroad, we've also got jobs in New Zealand and in the UK where we have teams based. So in London, there's two opportunities to share with you. One's a structural engineer and one is a construction law associate. You could reach out to our London team. I'm not exactly sure which consultant is managing each of those, but if you reach out to our London team, they'll definitely be able to help you. And then in Wellington, we have a financial analyst position. So that's on an hourly rate, so it'd be a contract or a temporary type position. And that would be, I think it would be Mark Smith or Peter or Caroline over in Wellington that you could reach out to about that particular role. So People to People have got offices in Australia and the UK. In New Zealand, we're under the 𝗶 Recruitment brand, which is a People to People company. So if you or someone you know is looking for work in any of those locations, please reach out to someone in the team.
So my name's Catherine Kennedy. I'm from People to People Recruitment, and we work with businesses all over Australia, New Zealand and the UK to help or to find the really best quality candidates in the market to work in their business. Our business is entirely built on people, and we need our people to be motivated, energetic, productive, and to be that and innovative for our clients. And to be that, you have to be well, and being mentally well and having good mental health is really the foundation of all of that. So as a business, it's really important to make sure that we're creating an environment where people feel that they're able to reach out if they need to, and they're able to speak up if they have challenges, and there's not the stigma around mental health. Mental health is really important to me because I've seen firsthand, I guess, how devastating not getting the right support around mental health can be, and I've also seen how bright things can be once you actually do get support and you're able to come out the other side. So my brother, and unfortunately we've lost him, but I'm sure he wouldn't mind me sharing this story because he would know that it would help people, but he had an almost lifelong battle with mental health and with depression particularly, and he didn't get the help that he needed. He didn't feel he could speak up. He's a young guy, we lived in the country, there just wasn't, it just was all very taboo, and I think had there been more awareness about speaking up and talking about things, then he could have had quite a different outcome. And the other side is, you know, for me personally, I've had some difficult times, largely around losing my brother and then divorce. I got a cancer diagnosis, I got lots of punches, and I really struggled, but I think having that awareness of James's experience, I was able to see the signs, speak up, even if it's just turning to a friend or a family member, or get some professional help. And if I hadn't have done that, I really don't know how things would have unfolded, but it really made a big difference. I remember I turned to my dad. I'm lucky to have a very wonderful, beautiful father who I've got a close relationship with, and he said to me, I know you feel like you're at the bottom of a pit, I know you feel like there isn't any light, but I promise you, I can see the footholds and we're going to climb out together. And that just stays with me every time. I feel if you just turn to someone else will be able to help you see the things that you can't see, and there is a way out. There is a way out. You just need to ask for help. Yeah, so look, it's hugely important to me, because I think without awareness, how are we going to break the stigma? How are people going to be able to feel comfortable to have these conversations? It shouldn't be something that's taboo. It really needs to be something that we're all, you know, comfortable sharing and talking about. It's a great day out as well to come and do the walk for awareness. So even just in terms of spending quality time with your family, getting some exercise, being out in the sunshine, and it's an incredibly important cause as well. You should come down. It's a great event. There's lots of things going on. There's a sort of a festival kind of atmosphere. It's pet friendly. It's really accessible, wheelchair friendly. You can bring the pram. So you can have the dog, the pram. You can be really getting involved with other people. So there's lots. It's a really good, fun day out and supporting a really important cause.
So as I said, we're going to be joined by Shavneel, and there he is on the screen. Hello, Shav. Welcome to P2P Live again.
Thank you. Great to be back again.
Yeah, really good to have you back in the team. It's a nice story at P2P. People leave and come back and go to different cities, which is good. So, but wanted to chat to you today about the really important subject, which I was obviously sharing some statistics about around mental health in the workplace. So yesterday was Are You OK Day, as I mentioned. I think most people know what that is, but just maybe people are not fully across it. Are you able to maybe tell us a bit about what this represents and a bit more about the significance of Are You OK Day?
Yeah, I sure can. So Are You OK Day, which was yesterday, is all about checking in with people around you and making sure that they are doing okay. It's a reminder just to ask the simple question, are you okay? It is a great conversation starter, and it can really help someone that might be struggling in this space, in this tough time as well. It's about staying connected, offering support, and making sure no one feels alone in their tough times. A lot of our people-to-people offices around Australia and New Zealand acknowledged this yesterday by having a small break and catching up over sweet cakes or sweets to ask that question.
Yeah, we did. We had some very nice, delicious treats in Sydney, which were welcomed and scoffed pretty quickly. But yeah, it was definitely just nice to step away from the day-to-day and just have a chat and, as you say, ask people, are you okay? How are you going? So what do you think, or why do you think it's really important for workplaces to encourage these types of discussions around mental health? Do you think that's changed very much in recent years, or what's your view on how this sort of has evolved within the workplace?
So I think it's quite prevalent to discuss this in the workplace nowadays, especially encourage these open discussions around mental health, because it helps create a supportive environment and ensures employees can feel comfortable sharing their struggles. It helps with improved employee well-being and productivity, just because it opens discussions about mental health and can help identify and address issues early on, leading to a healthier workplace and more engaged workforce, rather than absenteeism, which can be quite prevalent if it gets a bit worse and worse for people over time. Um, and it also creates a bit more of a stronger workplace culture, as encouraging mental health conversations fosters a culture of trust and support, which strengthens
Mhm.
team relationships and promotes a positive work environment.
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the key things that always just comes to my mind around these sorts of discussions is if you've got a team that's feeling supported,
Yeah,
comfortable, unburdened. I mean, not that everybody is, completely
yeah,
unburdened every day, but you're much more likely to be productive, happy. You're going to enjoy coming to work. You're going to have good
yeah,
outcomes, produce good results. So,
yeah,
yeah, I definitely see the benefits there.
yeah.
Are there any particular strategies that you are aware of or that you can share that organisations can implement to foster, I guess, more open, supportive environment, make it a little bit more, open for discussion within the workplace?
Yeah, definitely. So we could provide a little bit more of mental health resources and trainings, such as offering access to counseling services, workshops, and mental health training for both employees and managers to help them recognize and support mental health needs. I know we do it over here, people to people, with EAP services and stuff. It's such a great
Yeah.
way to kind of help with that. Another thing is the approachability between your peers and team members and even managers, having that, encouraging that open communication where you creating a culture where you talk about mental health, and normalize it by encouraging leaders to openly share their own experience and promote regular check-ins with their team members. It really helps in that way.
Mm.
And the last thing is also promoting that work-life balance. Like we have been over the years, due to COVID and everything, we've been able to implement flexible work hours and have mental health days and remote working options, which has led to help manage stress and maintain a healthy work-life balance as well.
Yeah, I guess that
Definitely.
helps to support the things that we know we need to do for good mental health, which is
Yeah,
get enough sleep, exercise, eat well, all of those sorts of things. So,
definitely.
yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining us,
All right.
Shavneel. It's such an important topic
Yeah,
in the world, but including in workplaces. So, really grateful that you joined us to talk today, and hopefully we'll have you back on soon.
anytime. Thank you.
Okay, so as always, we bring you the results of our social media poll. So the question that was asked last week is, what has been the biggest, what has been the biggest challenge your team has faced throughout 2024? And overwhelmingly, so 56%, so definitely more than half, reported that it's recruiting new staff. So that's interesting, and that is definitely still our experience, that it is still a market where it can be very hard to find good quality people, despite their some less than optimal economic conditions in some areas. But recruiting new staff, 56%, retaining staff, 20.4%, lack of training and development, just under 15%, and then 9%, the adapting to the remote hybrid, that whole work from home piece and how that looks in organisations. So that was last week's result. We do want to hear from you again this week. So our question for this week, which is related to our theme of the day, is, do you feel comfortable discussing mental health openly in your workplace? So please jump on and give us your thoughts around that. I think it's a very important conversation to have. You can see all of the various social channels that you can access us on there, and please jump on and contribute to that particular poll as well. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining. Our website is on the screen there, our phone number. I'm very happy for people to reach out to me directly if you'd like to ask anything about the jobs and employment market in Australia. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you again next week.